They welcome the bikes, boats, and bivouacs. Today we're going to talk about the town of St. Martin's in New Brunswick, Canada. What body of water is it on?
The Bay of Fundy.
Right on the Bay of Fundy. So when we first got there, we scoped out the town. And of course this is right down the hill from Fundy Woods Campground. I'll put a link to Fundy Woods Campground in right here if you want to see that campground. And we decided the next morning to go down there and have breakfast at the Coastal Tides restaurant. Now, the reason we went to the Coastal Tides restaurant, do you remember?
Somebody recommended it.
Yeah, there was a high school kid working in the grocery store.
Oh, okay.
And the owner was trying to be diplomatic about which place to recommend. But the kid just came out and said, the food's great, the prices are great, that's the best place to go.
Right.
So we went there for breakfast, and it was a really good breakfast. I think I had a ham and cheese omelet, and maybe someone else I know had 2 eggs over light or something. We'll put that in here so you can see the Coastal Tide restaurant. So down from the campground is the little town of St. Martin. And we're gonna try one of the restaurants. This is the Coastal Tide restaurant. So we'll check it out. Coastal Tide, marked by the lighthouse. Here is the restaurant, right there's the Bay of Fundy. So we'll check it out and see. And of course, if you're in St. Martin's, you're going to go down by the wharf. So what was the first thing that caught your eye at the wharf?
There was a fishing boat up on land.
Yeah, and we could check that boat out, and you could really see some details of the boat, how they protected the propeller, how the engine gets cooled, and of course there were also some lobster traps and ice boxes that were up there for you to see. So that was right at the beginning of the wharf, right next to the memorial. What was the memorial for?
For those lost at sea, out fishing.
Yeah.
Right, the fishermen that were lost at sea.
Yeah, so on this memorial there were 3 fishermen that had been lost at sea over a number of years. And, you know, if there's another unfortunate incident, they'll get added to that memorial. So it was nice to see them remembering fishermen from the community that were lost. And then we noticed the tide. Okay. What is it about the tide?
The tide goes out completely, and then the tide returns.
This tide right here is about 18 feet. So you'll see at the wharf a couple of fishing boats that are floating in water, and there's even, I think, a little, outboard motorboat sitting there tied up in the water. And then we come back when the tide's out, and you see it's just a running river, and all the boats are high and dry on the bottom of the sea. So it was really dramatic to see that. And I remember seeing something like that at the Bay of Fundy when I was a 10-year-old on a trip with our parents up through there. So that was really neat to see. And there were a bunch of little shops down there, and what was everybody's favorite shop?
The ice cream.
Yeah, everybody likes ice cream, so the ice cream shop was there. Notice they have the prop protected from rocks. And then here are the traps that they use. Those blue containers, a lot of times they fill those with ice or water. Marie, what do you think of St. Martin's?
Pretty little town.
Yeah.
Lobster town?
Yeah,
Lobstering?
fishing village for sure.
Yep. Thanks for showing me this area, taking me to this area.
Here we go.
Glad to be here.
So we're at the wharf at St. Martin's, down from Fundy Woods Campground. And they have a memorial to fishermen lost at sea. We see the latest one was lost in 2003. They had one lost in 1987 and one in 1985. Here is the wharf. Now, to give you an idea of the tide, those two boats, those fishing vessels over there, were sitting on the bottom. This was all dry all the way out here. So these tides are 12 to 18 feet when they come through here. And over here you see, just past the rusty anchor, this guy's little skiff anchored here. That, of course, that was sitting on the bottom. And you see that over there they got some little shops, and there's an ice cream shop right down here. Yeah, it looks like it's coming in.
Yeah, it looks like it, so it's coming up now.
Yeah. Little different when the tide's out, the boats sit on the bottom.
Under the boat.
Keep them from rolling. Wow. How awesome is that? Now out the wharf, there's a gift shop, there's ice cream, of course there's some fishery offices and a gift shop, and we're going to check the tours out on the other side. Then we'll see what it's like. And then you go over that bridge to go up the trail. And then just on the other side of the wharf, you go through like a covered bridge, and you're on the other side of the bay. It's kind of where the Fundy Trail starts. It goes up along a scenic drive along the bay. And just past that bridge are the sea caves. So what are they?
This is where the water has opened up the rock and formed sea caves.
Yeah.
And you can walk down there because it's low tide.
Yeah, so at low tide, you can walk on the seafloor and you can see these sea caves. And then when the tide is in, you can actually kayak into the sea caves. You got to make sure you're out before the tide goes down. And of course, you were interested in maybe walking over to the sea caves.
I was determined to walk it, but I didn't make it.
The depth and the current caused a potential hazard that we weren't willing to risk trying to get into the sea caves, but they were very interesting to see. And there's a lot of those unique features on the Bay of Fundy because of the tidal changes. Here are the sea caves. Now at high tide, tide's up here. You can't see in them. As the tide comes down, you can't kayak into them and back out. We're standing on the seafloor just outside of St. Martin's at the sea cave on the Bay of Fundy at a low tide. What do you think of the sea caves?
I'm wondering how we're going to get over there.
Are you going in them?
Yeah, we'll go in.
You can if you walk across.
Let me see how deep it is.
All right. And of course, we were there over a weekend, and you found a church.
Yes, it was a beautiful church, and what made this church unique is that I learned just by going to the one mass and one service is that the congregation supports the church totally. That's how it's kept.
So they're responsible for doing the maintenance and everything else. And that was St. William's Catholic Church, so it was on the other end of St. Martin's. And a really pretty church. We usually take a look at the churches when we're in the area. So that was a really neat church that Marie got to attend. Here is St. William's Catholic Church and St. Martin's, and you can see it. And then down from the church was a lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
That was called the
Quaco Head Lighthouse.
So this Quaco Head Lighthouse, a lot of times people just refer to it as the St. Martin Lighthouse. But it's automated, so there's no one there that has to manage it like in the old days. There's a foghorn there. Mm-hmm. And it's a beautiful view.
The view was awesome.
So you're on this bluff,
and
there's like a little rock island out there, and in between, a current is ripping through there. You can see why they need a lighthouse there.
Right.
And it looks out on the bay, and on the Bay of Fundy, and St. Martin would be to the left of this lighthouse when we're looking out there. So we'll put that in here for you to see. Here is a working lighthouse on the Bay of Fundy. We're going to hike down to it. This is just above the town of St. Martin's. This is an awesome view. This lighthouse, and you see the rocks in front. Now there is an extremely loud foghorn that is not going off right now, but you know it when it does. Yeah. Now, this is an automated lighthouse. Let's see, quite a view from down here. You can see the channel marker way out there. Quite a few. What do you think, Marie? On another day, we decided to head down to town into St. Martin's, and Gene and Brian were already down there at the Bay Baie Bistro. Which is this little bistro right on the Bay of Fundy, and they're known for their burgers. So that's what Brian and Gene wanted to try, was burgers. There's a really nice atmosphere at that place. The food did live up to the expectations. I think you had a beer there with Brian while we were there. And then right behind it is the Bay of Fundy and like a little beach area for the community. So we walked back to that to see what it was like. And the waitress slash manager that we talked to, her daughter was getting married down there. And her family had owned property there for years, so she came back to work there for the summer.
And she gave us inside information about the shark sightings on the water. Yeah,
there were some shark sightings on the water down there that I guess they don't really tell the tourists a lot about, but since we were leaving the next day, it was okay to tell us. So I'll put some video in right now of that. Bay Baie, the Bay Baie Bistro, the Baby Bistro. There's Marie, gonna have a beverage, doing her Vanna White. So just down from the Bay Baie Bistro
B&B
is access to this beach. And of course the wharf is right over there, and the sea caves, you can start to see them over there.
Oh, is that them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So look, if this video helped you, consider subscribing to the channel. It's free, it helps us out a lot. Also ring that bell and you'll be notified every time I put up a new video. And give the video a thumbs up. That helps it be seen by a wider audience. But more important than all that,
go have some fun out there.
hey, thanks for watching.